Sup shitters, my name is Logan aka Spiderhands and welcome to NSP Reviews, where today we're going to be checking out a track from an act named Gring Sing Muff titled Fingies. And if we switch over to here, this is an 8-minute 15 track, so it's on the longer side of what I usually review, but that's fine. This is off the album Turmeric Teeth. We're going to listen through this track from start to finish. I'm going to hear what we think. Let's go. Oh, it's kind of it's kind of dreamlike, like we're in some sort of fantasy abyss or something like that with these synths.
Got no other choice. I'm steady living like we're given a choice to be free. I see the way the adversary control the NPCs. Chemicals in the water, in the air that we breathe. They segregate the humans, got them all deceived. They create the disease and they sell the vaccines. Evil are the beings behind the media screens. People often see what they want them to see. Only willing to believe what they want them to believe.
Okay, there's a lot to take in at this point in time. I mean, like, the intensity of that mix, the bass, the drums, the samples on the side, the double-tracked vocals, as I understand it, the synths, everything is here at this point. There's no chill. And I ain't paying the taxes that they want me to pay. I'ma spin them off the axis, I roll against the grain. I'ma always be me, I don't need to explain. It's Grim Sing Muff, I ain't simple or plain. I stay complex and deranged. Can you feel my pain? I'm rapping all the time just to spill my brain. I got no other choice, it's the reason I came. So we're basically talking about our independence from the government here and how we're not one to be screwed with. And how we're going to continue to remain independent and not be affected by, like, are they talking about, like, vaccines or anything like that? Fantastic music production here. Really kind of twisted, kind of chilling. Just with the percussion, how it fits around the headphones in the stereo field, and the sound of this oscillating, kind of rising and falling of this wow wow, you know, like there's a lot of. It's not easy to get that to behave like that. The portamento is kind of it's impressive. I'm kind of lost in it though. I don't know where the groove is at this point in time. Like, it's kind of okay. You can follow the bass a little bit. That sub bass is nicely rounded though. That sub bass it kicks you in the teeth.
Tips yellow from the turmeric, yeah. It's how we cooking, kid. Ain't nothing new to it. Just got back from the woods where I took a tandem shit in a spot over there with some hippie chick. Yo, she rolled us both a cone quick like lickety split. Legit, a day in the life that I'm living is lit. So don't come at me with any of that rhetoric. They was spit while I was out back, blazing a chronic sack of higher education while you was taught to be whack. Just a rat caught in a trap. You're amazed by the maze. You even worship the walls. Alhamdulillah. I'm waiting on the final call. You a bum in the bar, talking about you know it all. I'm dedicated to the worm, kid. I will never fall from grace. I'm ready to switch up the pace. And just in case you did not know, it's earworm all day, ho, yeah.
So we've been talking about, like, starting with, like, a hippie in the woods, taking a tandem, and then there's so much information to take in. There is so much information to take in. I feel like you really do need multiple listens to be able to kind of get a sense of the entirety of it as well as the individual parts. Similar motif to what we had previously. There's little changes. I assume we're going to have little different sections within this 8-minute piece. Nice sort of like 80s kind of telephone-ish kind of sequencer going on here.
It's earworm all day, ho, yeah.
Earworms. I wonder how many different layers there would have been in the music production of this, like in the session, in whichever digital audio workstation they were using.
All day, ho, yeah.
Would have been quite impressive to be able to check that out, actually.
It's earworm all day, ho, yeah. It's earworm all day, ho. Out of control. My head was my home until I let it explode. I'm owning my flow and I'm letting it go. Don't be testing my role. The rest of them fester trying to set it in stone.
Damn, dude. Hang on a minute. Yeah, I was wondering why I was a little bit louder than usual. I just had my headphones turned up a bit more than usual. It's well mixed. There's a sense of dynamic range with it. While the fact that I know that we put a bit of limiting compression on the master chain. Different tempo here. It's nice to have a difference with that as well, I suppose. There's like a ping pong delay with these vocals. They're slightly out, and it's like a stuttery kind of sound to it, which is different to what we had before. I like that we're approaching the vocal production in a different way, despite the similarity of the flow. I always like it when people turn their voice into an instrument like that, or a percussive device. It's kind of starry and ethereal sounding. It's very misty and wispy. It's pretty. It's I mean, there's points of tension within the accompaniment, but often you just have these really kind of nice, kind of shiny colorations in there.
I am not alone. I am not alone.
It's an adventure though, isn't it? It's an adventure.
Type to fry Muscovy, Duck and River Island Park. I don't give a fuck, especially after dark. Stark naked, screaming fuck bacon, that's right, I hate the swine. Burn a thin blue line flag, toe tag and zip the body bag. Type to fry Muscovy, Duck and...
Shout out to that sub bass there. It's not often you get that rumble there that you can feel in your headphones, but I suppose through like a car stereo, something this would be pretty phenomenal.
River Island Park. I don't give a fuck, especially after dark. Stark naked, screaming fuck bacon, that's right, I hate the swine. Burn a thin blue line flag, toe tag and zip the body bag. Type to fry Muscovy, Duck and River Island Park. I don't give a fuck, especially after dark. Stark naked, screaming fuck bacon, that's right, I hate the swine. Burn a thin blue line flag, toe tag and zip the body bag. Type to fry Muscovy, Duck and River Island Park. I don't give a fuck, especially after dark. Stark naked, screaming fuck bacon, that's right, I hate the swine. Burn a thin blue line flag, toe tag and zip the body bag. Better yet, burn them there in town square, yeah, right there. Better yet, burn them there in town square, yeah, right there. Last off. You know I left my ass off. Till the song's done. Yeah, we all one. Till the song's done.
I mean, I'm gonna level with you guys watching this, you guys and girls watching this. I don't know what the song is about. I know I've been told words. The rapping's been dope. Flow's been clean. The words have come through clearly for the most part. I just don't know what it's about. I can't come to a way of explaining the conclusion to this.
We all one. Till the song's done. Then we gonna get spun, lose our minds and pull out a gun. Then we gonna be like, yo, check it out. This one is different from me. So we're gonna see how red the insides of everybody be. This is how we do it, yo. It's my reality.
Blast off into space, inoculate your mind. Stay like earworm inside. How's yours? Mine's great. No migraine. We migrate through audio waves. Just the primordial ways from the mystical days. DMT in my haze is the only way to blaze. I gotta taste these things. To some it seems strange. Just the way I behave. I'm never a slave to the things that they say. Got more beats to slay. Got more on the way. Hey, yo, it's earworm all day. Can we?
I mean, having the flanging or the oscillation of the pitch of it, I think it sounds cool. I'm not sure how it benefits the music, but it's cool that we're doing something different here.
Earworm all day. You know we don't play. Status beyond the madness. Horror of Babylon's an actress. We're toxic, obnoxious. Botox lips. Some of y'all are ill-equipped to handle the spit. Still they're steady with the sip on every drip. With anticipation plaguing the nation. Opioid pestilence and a whole gang of other shits. Giving away freely like divine gifts to be cherished. I'm on the sidelines embarrassed. Steady watching y'all perish. I'm on the sidelines embarrassed. Steady watching y'all perish. Blast off. Blast off. You know I laugh my ass off.
I mean, that was it. This is my conclusion of Fingies by Grim Singmuff off the Turmeric Teeth album. An 8-minute track that was a heck of a journey. I don't know what it's about for sure. I got little parts of it, like the toe tags on the body bags and stuff like that, and there being an earworm. And it's just difficult for me to ascertain like a rough conclusion here. So maybe again, because these are based on a first impressions basis, and the reason I do first impressions basis is because if I was to sit here and figure out the little intricacies of it in my own time, it could take hours to do that. There's just so much information in here to take in and really sort of understand. I feel like this is something where listeners, outside of this review, who like this music, because there's a lot to appreciate with this music. And I'm not saying that it's like a weak song because I can't understand what it's about. I enjoyed listening to it regardless. But I think that it'll be something that listeners can do is just kind of chill with it, sit alone, just absorb it, pull it apart, dissect it, iterate upon the various aspects, and try to come to some sort of understanding of it. A song can be complicated without it being bad. I think that the vocals in this track were fantastic. Lots of range to the textures. Sometimes we had backing vocals, sometimes we had modulated vocals in the front, but mostly we just had someone on the mic who really knew how to spit. Great flow, bars for days, confident performance, had a swagger to it. It was an earworm. I enjoyed the delivery of the vocals, as well as the rhythmic flow of it, as well as the rhythm of it, and even that phased flanged bit at the end where we went with the pitch shifting stuff, had a little bit of some interesting resonance there where I could be like, yeah, okay, this is coming a little more melodic, a little more colorful just to finish us out. It was a little bit spacey and ethereal, spacey and kind of mystical, and it made sense with the album art here. Beyond that, we've got great vocals. The structure of the track is more of a through composed one. We had different concepts we were discussing at different stages. Maybe this was like an adventure that the dude was on and he was talking about different elements of it and different aspects. Maybe kind of thinking back on it, maybe it was like a dream sequence or something like that. But either way, it was cool. I mean, like getting into the instrumentation here, you had lots of different synth sections, the bass and the drums. The sub bass in some parts was almost cinematic in how expertly crafted it was. But there were lots of bright elements in the mid and high ranges as well to kind of articulate and balance that out. We had some interesting sort of dissonances in some of the chord progressions, but outside of that, we had some pleasant arpeggios and melodies. And it never became stale. We even had some tempo changes as well occasionally, which really just... they slapped, man. It slapped. It's great music. The production, recording, mixing, and mastering was exceptional. It's commercially ready. It's ready for release. There's no complaints about that whatsoever. We have people here who clearly know how to write, rap, and record music, and the occurring stereo panning effects processing chains, and the way it was notched in the stereo field and the frequency spectrum as well. Everything had a place there. It was intense to listen through at the beginning just because everything was so well glued together, but that's fine. That's kind of the slap in the face you need when you're starting. I don't mean slap in the first place. I mean, it needs to grab you. It needs to grab your attention. That's more what I mean by that. The limiting compression was great. I got no complaints about that. And again, just to reiterate, if I don't understand what a song is about, it doesn't mean that it's a bad song. It just means I need more time with it. And I think, to be fair, getting the entirety of of an 8-minute long song on a first minute basis is kind of, especially with the speed of the flow, you know. There's a lot to take in, there's a lot of words, there's a lot of angles. But well done to Grim Sing Muff on their track Fingies off of Turmeric Teeth. And thank you very much for watching this review of this track. If you enjoyed it, please do go show Grim Sing Muff some love via their various social medias and Spotify page. Stay cool and stay safe, and please remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time, as either hell more than ever with all the crazy stuff going on in the world, and I will catch you in the next review. Spider Hands out.